Good afternoon and welcome. Glad you could join us today. So let's jump right in and talk about cleanup before update. It's talking about prepping your gear for Mac OS and iOS 26.3. On Go for Lunch for February 10th, 2026, brought to you by GoFor Technology. I'm Roger Harmon, your host, and we are here to make your technology work for you. Well, I couldn't pass up the fact that yesterday was National Clean Out Your Computer Day, so since that was so apropos, and today is Safer Internet Day. So again, something we try to keep up with, especially on our tips in the GoFor Gazette, to help you have a safe time on the internet. Yeah, before you update, well, major OS updates require significant working room to install that update. So you have to have the storage space available to mount the update. Also, removing system junk prevents old bugs from migrating to your new operating system. And a fresh operating system deserves a fresh start. So, are your devices compatible with operating systems in the new 26 era? Well, if you have an iPhone SE second generation or later, or an iPhone 11 or later, you're set to go with iOS. And on the Mac side, if you have a MacBook Pro 16-inch 2019 or later, a MacBook Air M1 2020 or later, an iMac Retina 5K 27-inch 2020 or later, and a Mac Mini M1 2020 or later, you are ready to go to Tahoe. So let's first look at the downloads, which tends to be the purgatory of the Mac. So you could use the 30-day rule if you haven't opened a PDF or a .dmg installer in 30 days, then delete it. And you can also use group by date added to find the oldest files quickly and delete those. So back at Go for Lunch number 5, which was 5 years ago, we did a whole session on cleaning up the downloads folder. So I would refer you to that to clean out your downloads folder, and the link is in the description down below. So you need to purge any unused apps on your Mac and your iPhone. So on the Mac, you want to go to System Settings, General, and Storage to see what's eating up space. So let's do that. So let's go to Settings. There we are. And here we are in General. Then we're going to go to Storage. And you can see here it's calculating the applications. It just takes a couple of seconds. And then you're going to click on the little eye in the circle to see what applications are taking up space on your Mac. And there it is. So now you can go through here and see what applications you may not be using anymore. So when you click on a application, you can see right here is a delete key. So you can delete the application right from inside the settings. So that's a good way to clear up space if you got apps in there that you're not using. So on the iPhone, you want to utilize the offload unused apps. So it keeps the data for that app, but it will delete the app, which of course takes up more room. Also, a pro tip here is to delete one-time use apps, things like event apps or travel apps that you're not using currently, you can get rid of those. So let's get our iPhone set up here and go there. So we're in settings. We want to go to general, and then you can see here we want to go to iPhone storage, and you can see right here on the top it's offload unused apps. So it says here you could save, in my case, you could save 17 gigabytes of space by offloading the unused apps. So that's another way to make some space. So let's talk about managing the big three, which are documents, photos, and videos. So in the Photos app, we're going to look for duplicates. We do that by using the duplicates folder, which is in both iOS and Mac OS, and it will merge similar shots. So let's go into Photos, and so you want to go up here to Utilities, and it might be closed, so you want to make sure and open it. And then right here you go to Duplicates. So here you have duplicates, and then you simply click here on the blue little link that says Merge to Items. Then you OK that by clicking on Merge to Exact Copies, and bam, they're gone. So you just, unfortunately, there's no way to do all of these at once. You have to do them one at a time, but you can get rid of those pretty quickly and get rid of any duplicates, which is going to save space. And then let's talk about screenshots. So they are a silent storage killer. A lot of us take screenshots and we probably will send them to somebody else, but they have outlived their usefulness and now they're just taking up space. So what you want to do is search for screenshots in your library, and you can probably delete 90% of those. So let's go to our Finder again and go back to Photos. So here we are, and we want to go down to Media Types. You see down here, and then down below here we have screenshots. So there's three ways to get rid of screenshots. You can do them individually just by clicking on them, and you'll see the blue border. Or you can take out a whole bunch by clicking on the first one and then shift clicking on the last one, and that will get rid of all of them in that sequence. The third way to do it is to click on the first one and then hold down the Command key, and then you can pick and choose which ones you want to get rid of. So three ways to get rid of screenshots. So old app versions can crash your brand new operating system. So you want to go on iOS to the App Store and choose Update All. And then you want to go to the Mac App Store and go to Updates and update all of your apps right there. And then if you have third-party apps that are not in one of the app stores, you want to make sure that that developer has updated their app so it is compatible with the operating system 26. Another thing you want to do is check compatibility and make sure, as I said, that your apps that you use every day that are essential to your workflow are updated by the developer. And then after you've done all of this, you want to back up your Mac and back up your iPhone. So on the Mac, you want to go to the Time Machine backup, and on the iPhone, you want to back it up to your Mac. Now, you probably do have an iCloud backup, but that's not a complete backup. So you need to connect your iPhone to your Mac, go to the Finder, and click on Backup to this Mac and do an encrypted backup so that you back up all of your settings so you have a complete backup. If you need help with that, just let me know. So now you've done your digital spring cleaning. You've got everything ready to go for operating system 26. And the last thing you need to do is when it comes out, and we think it's coming out very soon now, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe later, we're not sure, but people are predicting all those dates. But you want to do a search on the internet for you, so you would put in iOS 26.3 problems or issues or some word like that, and see what the internet has to say. See if there's any major bugs that are causing people problems. Be aware that there's always going to be a battery problem at the beginning because there's a lot of things going on in the background. So that should only last for a day or so. But if you see any other major updates, then don't update until that is fixed. So once you think that the coast is clear, then you can do a backup or do an update and get into the 26.3 update. So if you haven't already, put your questions or comments in the area there on YouTube. Zoom is updated to 6.7.5. And if you haven't already, do us a favor and subscribe so you'll be notified when we go live on YouTube. And do me a favor and share the GoFor Gazette that comes to you every Monday morning at 7 o'clock with friends that use Apple devices. And if you are not getting the GoFor Gazette, let me know and I will send you a link to help you get that. So let's see what we have to say here. And Leslie Ann is here. So does everybody understand how to get ready for iOS and macOS 26? So if you have any questions, just type them in. And if you think of anything that you'd like to know about. So Alice says, what happens if there's a significant battery issue or operating system lag? So when you first update, there's a lot of processes that are being done in the background. So it is doing things like indexing your whole computer so that your Spotlight search works well. And it indexes on photos. Thank you for the thumbs up. So that your photos will respond to searches for people and places and things. So you just have to give it about 24 to 48 hours. And then if your battery drain is still there, you can look for specific solutions for battery drain and give me a call if you have any questions like that. So that's why we want to wait maybe to see if the battery drain is worse than it is expected from a normal update. So good question. Okay, well, if you think of anything else, my contact information, my phone number, and my email address is coming up here shortly. So give me a call, send me an email. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week at high noon for another Go for Lunch. Take care.